शांति शांति शांति. Namaste. My pranams to you all. Most respected Gurudev, Dr. Pranav Pandya ji, आदरणीय डॉक्टर चिन्मय पांडे जी, आदरणीय कुलपति महोदय, विश्वविद्यालय के सारे प्राध्यापकगण, विद्यार्थी मित्रों, इस वेबिनार से जुड़े हुए सारे योग प्रेमियों, आप सभी को मेरा प्रणाम, नमस्कार. My hearty greetings to you all on the occasion of 7th International Day of Yoga, being celebrated across the globe with the theme Yoga for Wellness, which is the need of the hour. Under this pandemic condition, yoga has given the solace to millions of people by its philosophy, by its practices, by its peaceful message. Many lives have been saved by the practice of yoga, which is the need of the hour. I am going to present my views on yoga for health and wellness and evidence-based model. We have some silent features of yoga. The first one is what is the essence of man? Spirit is the essence of man. Then spirituality is the essence of yoga. So the yoga is a path which helps us to see what I am, understand what I am, experience what I am, what is my true nature, and establish in that. That is the yoga. Therefore, we may practice yoga for fitness, for wellness, but ultimately it is to know what is my true nature. Tada drushtuhu swarupeva sthanam. To establish in my own essence, the spirit, the purusha, the consciousness. That is yoga. That's why yoga is essentially spiritual. It is a philosophy, it is a darshana. It is a science, but it is a subtle science. And Indians, it's a art of living, art of healthy living. From the ancient time, yoga is our culture. And 24 hours our Indian people live yoga. They don't practice yoga, we live yoga. Then yogic practices are mind-centric. They have the more impact on mind and its the various dimensions. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Yoga brings harmony, peace. That's the beauty of yoga. Let us see what are the reasons for the origin of yoga. Suffering is a fact. Desire for sukha pravritti, or we don't want any dukkha nivritti. So that means we want always happiness, but sorrow follows. And ultimately people start searching for the permanent bliss or happiness. That's the way they found out is yoga. The second one is the curiosity about my own birth, curiosity about this entire universe, curiosity about our karmas. So all these things need to understand the universal aspects yoga has been evolved. Yoga is more than 5,000 years of written history. From the Indus Valley civilization till date, yoga has been evolved in Vedas, Upanishads, and even in Bauddha yoga, Jaina yoga. Then Smritis, Puranas, epics like Ramayana, Mahabharata, Shaddarshanas, then Tantra yoga, Nath yoga. Then in the medieval period, Bhakti Panthas, and the modern times, yoga is flourishing in the management of various lifestyle related disorders. Yoga is being used for wellness, fitness, calmness, for the management of various disorders, and this is the. What are the most important definitions of yoga? There are many definitions. As many minds, there are as many paths. Therefore, two definitions are I do appreciate. One is in Gita, Samatvam Yoga Uchyate, yoga is harmony. Second one is Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, yoga is the cessation of mental modification, as said. Where the harmony begins, it starts from the micro. Micro means within the cell, between the cells and tissues and organs. Like this, it goes to the individual consciousness with a supreme consciousness. That is the yoga. Then this much of harmony, what is the role of yoga in health and harmony? Yoga is being practiced as a preventive medicine from the ancient time. It is also being used for the promotion of health, various aspects of health. But in the recent time, yoga is very, very powerful technology in the management of non-communicable disorders. So that is yoga. Then what is its nature? Maharshi Kapila says, we are suffering always from tapatraya. Once we born, Adi Daivika, Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika tapa. These are the tapas are always following. Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, Adhyatmika tapa. These are always following us. And how to overcome them? What is the means? Patanjali given the means. What is that path? Yoga. Therefore, complete cessation of all kinds of suffering and its root cause, that is avidya, the ignorance, is called the freedom, the moksha, the liberation, kaivalya, mukti, various names. That spiritual discipline which leads to such a freedom is yoga for me. That means experience the freedom in all walks of life. If you want to practice yoga, you want to freedom. The freedom comes with responsibility. You are responsible, but at the same time, you experience the freedom in all walks of life. That there you are, be in yoga. Then see the byproducts with this background. That is health and wellness. We know the definition of health according to WHO. But according to me, what is the definition of health according to yoga? Complete cessation of all kinds of suffering and its root cause, ignorance, leads to harmony in all walks of life, and it gives a total freedom. That freedom is health, not a mere absence of disease or infirmity. This is the most beautiful. Therefore, how it comes? End of ignorance that brings the harmony between the supreme consciousness and the individual consciousness. That leads to the freedom. In Ayurveda, we have different definition of health. Then wellness are several dimensions: physical, emotional, intellectual, social, occupational. Most importantly, the spiritual dimension, which has been common. But all these health and wellness definitions and concepts, we are all human beings. We are also animal. We are suffering from 4 instincts: ahara, nidra, bhaya, maipuna. But we are human beings. We have the intelligence or the viveka, discrimination power. With that, using the discrimination power, we can elevate from the animal nature to the higher level of consciousness, where yoga comes to our rescue. So once we want to overcome this instinct, manage this instinct, what is this thing? Metabolism, right food, ingestion, digestion, absorption, circulation, then elimination and relaxation. These are all the metabolic processes. Yoga provides a solace, keeping me well, happy. Eat well and do well yoga and have a better sleep. That will elevate us to the 4 states of consciousness: Jagrata, Swapna, Sushupti and Turiya. So in the modern psychology, they always mention about only 3 states of consciousness. But yoga goes to the transcendental state. What is the yogic experience? Yogic experience is suprasensory and supra-intellectual in nature. That is the beauty. That's why I use the word. It is a subtle science going to the fine-tuning of our finer aspects of our existence. Then let us see the concept of this health and wellness, how we can go to the holistic approach. So if you see, I am the sharira of 3 sharira: gross body, subtle body and causal body. Then it leads to the pancha kosha: annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, vijnanamaya kosha, anandamaya kosha. So therefore, the integration, keeping this annamaya kosha healthy and fit, then the channelization of energy in this one, then going to the mental plane, calm and quiet mind, and discrimination power, ultimately return to the sattva pradhana buddhi, leads to the experience, the self, the consciousness. So then comes to the problems, how we face it. Where the problem begins, mind in the middle. Disturbance starts in the mind. That transfer into our mind, transfer into our vegas, vegas into our prana, prana into the breathing. Therefore, the pranamaya kosha, it has the impact on disturbed breathing pattern. This continuous disturbed breathing pattern have disturbed our metabolism and other activities, disturbance in the annamaya kosha, the physical body. Prolonged disorders continues to a diseases which is called lifestyle disorders. How to manage these things? We have several theories, Chakra theories. Then we have the concept of prana. You can see the concept of prana is also the Vega. Then Pancha prana, prana, apana, udana, samana, vyana. Then same thing, how to balance this prana with various practices. Most important thing is, after the cleansing, the nasal passage and the respiratory thing, we have to do the alternative breathing. Nadi Shuddhi Pranayam, Ida, Pingala and Sushumna. That will go. Therefore, so with these one, we are going to the tantric body, the prana and the ghata body, the ghata and prana. Then we go to the mind. The best school of yoga which help us to understand the mind and its management, it's called Patanjali Yoga. Patanjali advocates 8 limbs and 2 are very important. One is restraints, yamas are restraints, and observances, niyamas are observances. They are all the quality control. After observance of yama niyama, so we have to do the cleansing, ghata shuddhi, neti, dhauti, kapala bhati, trataka, nauli, basti. These kriyas cleanses our internal and external organs, so that the practice of asana, pranayama and dhyana, the package, the protocol will be very effective. What it leads to? It has a balancing endocrinal secretion, nervous control, and increased mind-body coordination. Then that brings the calmness, relaxation, refresh. We feel health and harmony in our life. And these are all the principles of yoga therapy. One is theory of klesha, another is theory of chitta vikshepa. These are the dynamic methods. But how we can keep the health and wellness through yoga? I have the module. What is that module? I have given the 8 stages. Purification, Shodhana Kriyas, diet modification, eat well according to the season, local food, according to day and night, Dinacharya, Rutucharya. Ayurveda explains it very nicely. Then postural modification, do at least 6 type of movements to the body, forward bending, backward bending, lateral bending, twisting, balancing, topsy-turvy. Include them in our daily routine so that our spine becomes very flexible, active. And sympathetic, parasympathetic balance, which leads to the proper breathing practice. Though first breathing, then it goes to the pranayama. That pranayama continuous practices will lead to relaxation. Then yoga nidra help us to withdraw the senses inside. Ability of concentration with these type of practices. Then this concentration, long concentration leads to meditation. Meditation happens. Dhyana or meditation is the core of yoga. Once we start meditation, then behavior modification comes on its own. What this behavior modification brings is the reduction of the stress, increase in the metabolic activities, increase in the mindfulness, enhancement of sense of relaxation, total freedom that gives to the feeling of positive health. That is the thing. And how to practice it? Don't make it complicated. What is that? Simple package of asana, pranayama and dhyana. In the beginning, asanas are more in number. You take more time to practice asana. But slowly increase the time duration of pranayama sadhana. Ultimately dhyana. I put it dhyana in the bigger circle. Then if you are not getting the results, go and check your quality control. What are? Are you following yama niyama properly? Check it up and increase the quality of yama niyama. It will not happen in a day or 2. Again get back, you have a quality of practice has been improved. But along with that, kriyas and mitahara concept you have to try. So what is the concept of mitahara? Yuktahara is eat right food at right time with right earning. But mitahara, snigdha, madhura, chaturtamshi vivarjitaha. Bhujyate visisam prite mitahara sauchate. That is quality of food, quantity of food, and sense of state of mind while eating. All these things count for the mitahara concept. We are offering 1/4 of, we are keeping empty, but 1/4 we are offering to the needy people. So then after these things we do some micro circulation practices. In our institute we have more than 48 yogic sukshmayamas and 7 sthula vyayamas. But here we have chosen some 5 to 9 of them where we can use our neck, shoulder, trunk, knees and ankle joints so that we prepare for the practice of yoga. These are the loosening practices we proposed in our common yoga protocol. The neck, shoulder, then trunk movement. Okay, you can see the then wonderful practice of Surya Namaskara. We have a Surya Namaskara, Guru Namaskara, Gayatri Namaskara, Hanumana Namaskara. India is a land of yoga. As many God, as many Namaskaras. But why we do these Namaskaras? To make our body sustain all these conditions and orient our mind. Healthy body leads to a healthy mind. Therefore, these moments are coordinated with the breathing, some mantras, etc. that will orientate, that will give the namaskara to the deity, the God. Then we have a cleansing practices. Shatkarmas help to cleanse the internal organs of the body. Neti, Dhauti, Kapalabhati, I have already talked much about it. So these are the practices. Then how Neti helps? They help us to detoxify the body physically, mentally, and desensitize our vital organs. Sometimes we get the allergies, nasal allergies. And these nasal allergies can be overcome by the practice of Neti and Kapalabhati. Then we get the migraine. All these things are very, very minute. Without any cost, Neti, Kapalabhati, sometimes the Dhauti help us to overcome the disorders of Kapha and Pitta that will help us to practice. Wonderful practice of Yogasana. Then we have to do the 6 type of movements: forward bending, backward bending, lateral bending, twisting, topsy-turvy like this. What are the principles? Simple, stable body, comfortable, effortlessness, emerging with the infinite. These are the principles. What is Tato Dvandvana Vigata? Patanjali says, freedom from all type of duality. Asana practice in the principled manner, if you practice, it will give you that calm and quiet, dual-free mind. These are all the benefits we are mentioning it. Then comes the, in the common yoga protocol, we have chosen these practices, standing postures. See the body alignment. Then the sitting postures. Okay. Then there are some prone lying postures. Then supine postures. Then ultimately it leads to the Shavasana, that relaxation. Then comes the pranayama. So in the common yoga protocol, we have chosen only 3 pranayamas. But most important pranayama is the alternative nostril breathing. At least 10 to 30 or 32 nostril breathing or Nadishodhana pranayama brings the vitality. So pranayama is for the improving the vitality and also bringing the harmony between the sympathetic and parasympathetic activity. So these are all the benefits. It calms down the mind, balances the vital forces, bring the stability. How it brings? One is pranayama helps to for the breathing control. Then breathes to a healthy lungs to the healthy heart to the healthy vagus functions, and healthy vagus function to the healthy prana control, regulated prana. That prana leads to the management of mind. That's why prana is always proposed for the management. These are all the methods of proper inhalation, retention and exhalation. Pranayama is also very good for the bringing the vitality and improves the vital capacities of the lungs, improves the vitality. These are all the some researches regarding the effect of pranayama on cardiovascular system, pulmonary functions, etc. All these things I had given. Because of time, I am just skipping all these. Then we have shown some very important pranayama practices. If you want to hold a breathing, there are some bandhas, there are some mudras. Okay, then ultimately comes to the dhyana, the meditation. Stabilizes the mind, increases the awareness, increases the concentration and willpower, then improves the alertness. These are all depends. But when you sit for meditation, Thiram Samam Kaya Shirogrivam, this is the principle. The body must be stable, the spine must be straight, and body must be totally relaxed. Then with proper breath alignment, with a Deshabandha Chittasya Dharana, that leads to the meditation. There are proper, simple, many meditative postures one has to define. So, these are all the things I mentioned about the various yoga practices, how they bring total health and wellness. Then what is the evidence? So, we have several evidences. Meta-analysis we do. Then in our institute, we did design the studies, subjects, country-wise interventions from 2006 to 2021. We have observed more than 11,000 research papers published in index journal. We categorize them. Wonderful results, the impact of yoga on various systems, on various activities like heart function, lung function, kidney functions, brain functions. Then on the diabetes, hypertension, migraine, various disorders, all these things goes. That's a wonderful research papers are there. Most importantly, impacts on the stress. When you do yoga, it relaxes the body and mind. How? Improves the self-awareness. Calms down the mind because it increases the serotonin and GABA. Because the stress hormones like cortisol, that will decrease, and it will decrease in the HP axis. That helps to calm down the mind. So there are more than 5,000 and odd research paper is mostly on management of anxiety, stress, etc. with the various practices of yoga. And once you want to do yoga for therapy, we have to prepare the yogic intervention. Then how it improves, I had given you one example of diabetes mellitus, how it reduces the risk of diabetes mellitus in controlling the blood glucose level. That has to be done. And lastly, what are the silent features of a yoga practitioner who is healthy and well? He is always active, body is flexible, calm and composed mind, positive emotions, action and relaxation, and blissful awareness. These are the silent features of, I started with the silent features of yoga. I am ending up with silent features of a yoga sadhaka. He is a flexible, active, calm and quiet mind, but action in relaxation. I am doing action but in a relaxation mode. Blissful awareness. I am always having the internal happiness, the bliss. That is the future of that. We have a WHO Collaborative Center. Our institute is the only one institute which is recognized by WHOCC for yoga specific outcomes. We have come up with the Yum Yoga app, several consumer information booklet, several modules on the basis of evidences in yoga. That is the beauty of the CC. We are disseminating to the world population to spread the message of health and wellness through yoga. So with these few words, I once again thank Dr. Chinmayji and Dr. Ishwar Bharadwaj for inviting me to share some of my views on the yoga for health and well-being. Dhanyavad, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.